I'm here at Dreamforce 2019 and speaking with Chris Jacob, a product marketing leader with Salesforce, about some of the new innovations that they've announced around Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So Chris, thanks for being here with me.
Thank you, Bill, and welcome to Dreamforce.
Thanks. So let's talk a little bit about Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Tell me about some of the new features, the new innovations that Salesforce has announced about the product.
Yeah, so there's 4 core components to our marketing solution, and we believe for any marketing solution, knowing your customer, personalizing what the customer sees through artificial intelligence, engaging on every channel, and analyzing, making sure you know you're successful and optimizing. So in each of those 4 areas, we have 1 or 2 key announcements. With the knowing your customer, our big announcement is our product called Customer 360 Audiences, part of the overall Customer 360 Truth announcement we made yesterday through Mark in our opening keynote. Customer 360 Audiences is basically giving marketers the power to bring together the known and unknown worlds into a unified profile for the marketer to then be able to personalize and activate audience segments that are relevant to their business. I might want to activate to a certain group that's willing to respond to a certain Black Friday offer, for example, that's compelling to a certain SKU or whatnot. So that's Customer 360 Audiences, giving marketers insight through this known and unknown unified profile and being able to activate that data in segments. For the personalized angle, we're amplifying our investment in Einstein and AI, and we have 3 great announcements that we're going to showcase in the marketing keynote tomorrow. Einstein Messaging Insights, Einstein Copy Insights, and Einstein Content Selection. Briefly, Einstein Messaging Insights gives marketers the ability when they log into their Marketing Cloud console in the morning, insights of things that have happened and things they may need to take action on. For example, I've launched a campaign the previous day, Messaging Insights tells me, oh, the open rate was down 30% or down 30% versus the equivalent campaign last quarter or last year. And it was down because the subject line was wrong or inaccurate. So that's important because suddenly you have all this data coming together, artificial intelligence not just telling you something is wrong, but why it's wrong. What's the next thing Einstein can then go and do? Well, then tell you what to do to fix it. So that's what Einstein Copy Insights is. Okay, fine, the subject line was the problem. What should I do about that? Einstein Copy Insights tells me what exactly I should change it to, the words and phrases I should use to improve said open rate. So it actually starts using artificial intelligence not just to alert you with what's wrong, but give you the corrective action to fix it. And then Einstein Content Selection, probably my personal favorite of the 3 announcements for personalization, the ability not just to have Einstein and AI recommending the content that appears in an email, so the email you receive versus the email I receive, but also changing that content in real time based on engagement. So say we were both part of a campaign, we both received an email, and I happen to open that email on day 1 because I got nothing to do, you're a busy man, Bill, you don't open that email until day 3. Based on all those people that opened the email on day 1 or previously, we may engage or not engage with those offers that are in that email. When you finally get the time to open that same email on day 3, that offer, that hero image might have changed in real time because all of us engaged or didn't engage, didn't respond to that offer, so there's no point showing you something that's not relevant to you and didn't engage the previous audience. So personalizing in real time.
So there's a little bit of real-time A/B testing that
Yes,
can happen.
exactly right.
Okay.
So still based on you and who you are, you don't want your relevant offer, but also taking into account all these people that engaged with that content previously. Very, very powerful. So that's personalized announcement. With Engage, our big announcements, interactive email. I think all of us know in marketing that when you're doing like a conversion rate funnel, things always drop off each step, right? I get an email, I click to the landing page, there's a drop off in conversion rate. Filling the form, there's a drop off in conversion rate. Buying the product, going to the shopping cart page, etc. There's always a drop off at each step of the way. Interactive email brings all that power into the email itself, meaning that I don't have to leave the email to take an action. I can embed reviews, I can embed forms, I can embed SKU and product selection, all within the email itself, meaning that I don't ever have to leave the email to go to a landing page or anywhere else to complete the action or for the brand to get that information. So we think it'll be very, very compelling. I personally think it's probably the biggest thing to happen to email as a channel since the smartphone itself in terms of changing the form factor of emails. So we think it'll be very compelling. Hopefully it'll improve conversion rates and everything else for people, and people will love it. And then analyze the important part of like knowing whether you're successful or not and taking action. We launched Datarama Marketplace. And Datarama Marketplace is basically the ability to build applications on top of Datarama to make it suitable for your business. For example, you can build skills that are based on things like voice or things that may be suitable to your industry. In the marketing keynote tomorrow, we're going to show the ability to use Alexa with Datarama to query the dashboard using voice to then get insights back, i.e. what are my top performing channels, and then the dashboard will come up and show me the top performing channels for a given campaign. So it gives marketers another interface to interact not just with their hands and fingers.
You know, that's really been a theme here at this year's Dreamforce is voice and the announcements around that. And so talk a little bit more about that, sort of how it makes it a more natural interaction, maybe than, like you said, using your hands, you know, being able to come in the morning and get that information out of, you know, get the information you need to make a decision without having to sort of, you know, SQL, type a lot of queries, understand how to interact with, you know, waiting for someone else who does have that data to get back to you and tell you, oh, this subject line is better than this, or this is why the campaign is performing badly, or this is my top performing campaign over the last several, you know, over the last several months or over the last several weeks. As someone who actually does this for my business, as someone that's working with our audience to try to figure out, hey, look, you know, is this story a good story? Is this email a good email? When we send out, is this tweet a good tweet? Is this, you know, being able to sit down and say, Alexa, tell me about this, or that's pretty powerful.
It is powerful. I think all of us, I mean, you and I are having a voice discussion now. It's so natural for this to be the way we communicate. I think none of us who work in this industry are surprised at how fast voice has grown. I mean, so many of us have Amazon Echoes, Google Homes, we use Siri, Apple's HomePod, and all the other devices that voice is enabled on. So in the consumer world, we have adopted this en masse, and this spans all generations, right? And so I think what you saw yesterday with the announcements, it's only natural for a lot of those capabilities with voice to make their way into the business world, right? Things often start in the consumer world, they end up in the business world. So why shouldn't a leader in the organization or account representative be able to query going, am I likely to make my quarter? What does Einstein tell me about my ability to make my number? What recommended action should I take? Instead of just looking at that in a typical interface, can't I use voice to go and do that? And then the second part to it is, because we know we can't build everything, giving developers the ability to build their own skills that are relevant to their own business and making interoperable, because voice is not just about, you know, having a closed ecosystem. If you do use Alexa, if you do use Siri, having the Einstein and Salesforce capabilities with voice, being able to work with those devices as well. So that's why I'm so excited by it all, because one, is the possibilities are endless. I don't know where it's going to go. You probably know better than me, Bill. But being able to give business people the power of voice and interface, whether it's querying their database in a CRM use case, querying their database in a marketing use case, I think it's going to be super powerful. In a service interaction, having, you know, things transcribed in real time, and AI servicing recommendations to that service agent to give a better experience to the people calling at the call center. It has so many possibilities, and I'm just excited to see where it's going. So hopefully people were excited by what they saw yesterday. I certainly was, and we'll see where it goes.
So talk to me a little bit about the kind of feedback that you're getting from people that led you down the path to sort of integrate voice, to make some of these changes from your customers. Like, what are they looking for in the marketing, you know, the tools that they use to market and to reach out to their customers?
I think it comes back to first principles in many ways, right? Like, at the end of the day, our goals are very much the same, right? I want to increase revenue, increase conversion rates, increase open rates at the channel level, lifetime value, net promoter scores, customer satisfaction. All those things are still important. And so when we think about what we're doing, is we're still enabling those end goals. Now, if voice is a frontier that enables that end goal, i.e. it makes someone more likely to take advantage of an offer in a marketing campaign, it makes a marketer more efficient in running their business, and she's just, you know, more powerful in being able to do what it is she does on a daily basis in the office, then that's somewhere where voice should be introduced, right? Just like introducing touch a generation ago, well, a technology generation ago.
Right.
I mean, voice is just another mechanism, another medium, another frontier to enable someone to do something, whether for the consumer with the brand, or whether with the marketer running the campaign, or the salesperson running their business. And so that's the way that we've looked at it for everybody. Can we make that professional better at their job? And does this improve the customer experience for the brand to their end customer, business buyer, or end consumer? And so that's sort of where we've gone with it. As I said, we're clearly in the early days of all of this. It's interesting to see where it will go, but we're hopeful that because we've made it an open ecosystem, developers can go and build their own custom solutions with this to see, you know, what's suitable to their business, and ultimately what their end customers are telling them they want and need, and their internal employees are telling them what they want and need.
along with voice, another thing that's always important in terms of making actionable decisions on all this data, right? And having sort of integrating what you're doing with AI. Talk to me about maybe visualizations, right? Talk to me about just being able to sort of paint a picture visually so that people can kind of see, okay, well, Einstein has told me that I need to do this in an email. Salesforce, one of the big acquisitions that it's recently made, Tableau, of course, and it's sort of being integrated into across the platform to provide these kind of visualizations. Kind of visualizations and providing that information that Marketing Cloud can deliver to people in a visual way. How does that work?
Yeah, so visualizations I think is interesting because you've got two types of visualizations. You've got the visualizations that give you insights, i.e. What the charts, the graph, the trends, all those sorts of things. And voice can be a mechanism to get you there. Artificial intelligence can surface insights that are far more difficult for anyone to do manually, even a team of data scientists to do manually. You can just do things more efficiently and at scale, particularly with all the touch points that exist. So that's one form of visualizations. The other one is giving professionals the visual cues about what to go and do. So think like next best offers. If I am that person at the other end of that service call, and this is a problem service call, and Einstein's telling me, you know what, you should talk to them about this particular offer. This might not only help resolve the situation, but actually get them to buy something else from you. That's really powerful, right? Because suddenly that service agent is not just a cost center, they're now a profit center for the business. And all you've done is used AI to surface an offer that person can see in their console, that they can communicate back. Now, to do that at scale, you need the service person to be not just empowered with that technology, but the service person be connected to the marketing side of the business, because the offers are usually being generated out of marketing. That's where it comes back to that idea of the unified profile. Everyone in the business has to have access to that unified profile, but serviced up in a way that's relevant to them. The service person needs offers to talk to the person. The marketer needs content and AI service things to generate insights and to power the next campaign.
Well, Chris, thank you for being with me.
Thank you, Bill. Hope you enjoyed the rest of Dreamforce.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching, and you can see all of Tech Republic's coverage from Dreamforce at techrepublic.com.